Hey everyone, and welcome back to Coins Alert. This is Rich, making another movie about XRP today as always. I hope everyone is having a great day today, no matter where they are in the world. Let's talk about XRP. To begin, I have to share this from Blue Hawk Legend. Arcax adds stocks and government debt to the list of tokenized real-world assets. They're tokenizing the US debt, which means the US government doesn't need Bitcoin. Their main point is that we need to buy all this Bitcoin and store it for 20 years in order to pay off the debt. But the debt is already being turned into tokens. The same thing is being done by Ondo. Ondo Finance adds support for XRP Ledger and Stellar, making it easier for people around the world to buy tokenized US bonds. The debt is already being turned into tokens. Bitcoin is not being bought by the US government for any reason. I also think that whole story is being made up by people who hold Washington bags. Oh my God. Bitcoin is now considered a capital item by the IMF. This could be very positive. But is it a bullish sign? They didn't understand what was said, so no. For those who don't understand, I said that the IMF said these are crypto assets that are meant to be used as a medium of trade and don't have any counterparty liability. For example, Bitcoin are recorded separately in the capital account because they are not created and are not financial assets. They are making it clear that Bitcoin will not be a part of the new banking system, and that it will be regulated in a different way, probably so much so that it will no longer be useful. You can try to spin it though. The IMF, on the other hand, thinks of XRP and XLM as high-value safe coins or utility coins. They praise everything that is said without reading it all, very carefully and trying to figure out what that means. Then this came out. It's not true that the IMF called Bitcoin gold or digital gold. It wasn't called digital gold by the IMF. Do you get what I mean? Everything they can find on the internet is being used to make up rumors, hype, and fake information. They change a story so that it makes the point they want it to make. That's the reason why Bitcoin is so popular right now. I'm telling you, Bitcoin is going to crash like never before. Once the hype goes down, soon these cryptocurrencies that are based on usefulness will no longer be connected to Bitcoin, and Bitcoin will no longer be in charge of this market. Zach Rector says, "Let me make this clear. It will never happen. The US will never give up gold to buy Bitcoin." This was taken from a piece that Bull Hines wrote. This is just one person in Washington, D.C. After that, he quotes Senate Majority Leader Cynthia Lummis, and Lummis quotes Michael Saylor. You know what's going on? It's like a circle of hype that will never end. Then they get all these people who are probably paid to promote Bitcoin to go on X and make everything look like it's good for Bitcoin. What's going on here? Because they want to make Bitcoin more valuable so that people who own billions of Bitcoin can sell some of it. Cindy Loomis may have said that she has 1,000 Bitcoin. I looked for the post where she said that. She's not going to sell all that Bitcoin unless the government steps in to help, because other people are also selling. Also, this tether isn't going away either. Now I keep seeing people spin it. For his part, Letnick will do everything he can to keep Tether strong. That's how Tether makes the price of Bitcoin seem higher than it really is. This has been going on since 2017, and every year after that. Right now, 87% of the value of Bitcoin is Tether that was made out of thin air. However, JP Morgan also thinks that Tether will fail. Don't agree with me? Fine, but are you really going to ignore what smart money says? With stablecoin rules coming up, JP Morgan used Tether less. And when JP Morgan pulls out, they know that something big is about to happen. They know it's going to happen if they're moving away from Tether. Still, some people don't want to believe it. It needs to happen, then they'll be all over X. But first they have to lose all their money. I should have paid attention to what everyone else said. It took place with FTX. As soon as you said something, someone would tell you you were wrong. We can all see how that turned out. Celebrities love FTX. It's going to happen again. I know that the IMF is only getting back 6% of Tether in cash. The IMF knows. Because of this, the IMF told El Salvador that they need to stop talking about Bitcoin if they want to get money from the IMF. Don't buy Bitcoin any longer. What did El Salvador? They won't buy Bitcoin from you unless you go to X and listen to all the fake news there. Still buying from the IMF, or El Salvador. There's no real proof that El Salvador is buying. But we have proof that they are. Everything is just a big lie. Bloomberg says that Ripple wants XRP to be Ethereum for banks. But I think this is what Ripple really wants. It's not what they want XRP to be for banks. The banking system is broken, so they want to fix it. Plus, a lot of people don't even have a bank account. That's why it's so important for Ripple and Stellar to help people who don't have bank accounts. Ripple also wants to fix the back end of Swift, which is where all the big problems are. Everything is great on the front end. After that, you send money from the US to, say, the UK in another country. You have to wait 3 days. And the deal costs a lot. The goal of Ripple is to fix that. Through EastNet's payment safety, Ripple is now connected to Swift. This makes it possible for XRP to move easily across the network. What a strange event. Swift wrote a piece on March 20th about their plans to make it easy to send money across borders. Swift and Ripple already work together. Ripple is already a part of the new banking system. There's also the Federal Reserve, which makes this even bigger. Some people still think the Federal Reserve will make their own way to pay. It's really silly, you know. But this has been planned for years. It wasn't a surprise. Ripple has been out there for 10 years now, setting up rails all over the world. And it's still going on today. Is it still too early to talk about the 1700 NDAs? It seems like a flood is about to happen. The head of Ripple, Monica Long, says know what you hold. I don't think there are 1700 NDAs now. Some of them may have been talked about along the way, since this paper is over a year old. But they are contracts that say Ripple sent XRP straight to another party. Agreements between parties to a Ripple deal, that they would sell XRP on behalf of Ripple. Too many trading sites. Contracts that agreed to pay other parties for different services. An XRP that Ripple offered. And different kinds of contracts that don't fit into the first three. I think this space will change very quickly. Once those NDAs are made public, the first thing that will happen is that XRP will move on all of those big news. I think this will a major shift. All of a sudden many of these banks will stop testing, since that's what everyone is always talking about. The secret ledger and the public ledger both have prices for XRP. There are, however, still tests going on with the secret ledger. After testing is done, the price that is shown on the secret ledger will also be shown on the public ledger. There won't be two different prices for XRP though. Let's say, for example, that the SEC comes out and says that the case against Ripple is over. It seems like these NDAs are being announced every day. All of a sudden, since there are a lot of big names in those NDAs, the price would have to change. Additionally, if they say they will go live on certain dates using XRP and RippleNet, I expect the price to go through the roof. That fast could happen. Don't forget that many other central banks haven't been named yet either. Listen to this. Sending money and trying with the XRP ledger to send money. I'm excited to work with them. Ripple is also great at working with big businesses, which is what we do best. The government is just a big business user. In that video, Brad also talks about how they plan to work with states. A lot of CBDCs are being built on the XRP system. I think the digital euro will be the first one to be announced, because Christine Lagarde and Brad Garlinghouse are in charge of it. They have a past. Do you remember the picture of them at the round table? When it comes to making payments across borders, Brad is always invited to the table. So the digital euro might be the first one. As the US moves toward a private safe coin, instead of a central bank digital currency, I think other countries may change their minds. We're not sure what that will look like yet. But I do know this. Anything that goes live will make XRP valuable because it's the main token on the XRP system. In this movie, I wanted to show you how the hype is still going strong, and why it's still going strong. All of them want the government to help them out, so they can sell their Bitcoin. That's what's taking place. Since the loan will be turned into tokens on these networks. There's no